This is Louis III, the king of West Francia in the 9th century, still a teenager at the time. One day, Louis sees his crush running through the streets, and like any horny teenager with high-octane hormones, he jumps on his horse and begins chasing the girl. Then he smashes his head into a low lintel and drops dead from a brain hemorrhage. Fucking simp. Talk about being cock-blocked by a building. The girl didn't even have to say no. The wall did it for her. Now in the history books, they try to make it sound so formal, right? Like, the king died in a tragic riding accident. No. An accident is when the horse trips you. When you trip the horse while chasing a girl, that's not an accident. That's fucking stupid. My best guess? His brain didn't hemorrhage because of the impact. It was already hemorrhaging to begin with. How else would you explain charging through a goddamn doorway on a horse at 30 miles per hour? Imagine being his successor and having to give the eulogy. What do you even say? The king has passed the crown to me. A crown that, I should mention, is currently shaped like a pancake because he used his head as a battering ram for a girl's attention. How do you go to war after that? The enemy general just has to stand on a hill and shout, "Hey, is that the same crown your brother had when he got his brains knocked out by a garage door because he was horny?" You can't recover from that. 600 years later, we have Charles VIII, the true spiritual successor of Louis III. Why? Because, while on his way to watch a tennis match, he too hits his head on a lintel and drops dead. What is it with French kings and lintels? Are the doorways cursed? Or is the word duck just not in the Royal French Dictionary? Forget Lord of the Rings, we got Lords of the Lintels here. Might as well make a family crest out of it. How about a cracked head smashed against a low beam? Motto, duck or die trying. Now here's the part that cooks my brain. Charles was just 5 feet. Do you understand how low a doorway has to be to kill a guy who is 5 feet? Less than 5 feet. Do you know who uses doors less than 5 feet? Hobbits. Gnomes. Oompa Loompas. Minus 10 points if you thought I would say midgets. Imagine the anxiety of the new king who came after Charles. Alright, look, no more doors, okay? From now on, every entrance in this palace needs to be at least 40 feet high. I want to be able to enter a room while standing on the head of a giraffe. Make it so tall that if I fall off that giraffe, I would land on a cloud. Basil I starts life as a peasant nobody and ends up becoming the ruler of the Byzantine Empire. And then one day, he goes hunting deer. Unfortunately, a stag gets its antlers tangled in his belt and drags him through the woods like a sack of laundry for 25 kilometers. He survives, only to die from the injuries a few days later. Tragic, obviously. But look at the quality of that belt. It endured 25 kilometers of intense stress tests and didn't even snap. Which brand was he using? Are they still in business? I want to buy one of those. Last year I picked up what the mall guy sold me as a genuine leather belt. Within 3 weeks, the hole I use most had stretched out into a different hole I use most. If a deer caught me in that, it couldn't do shit. Now, generally speaking, when someone important dies, they mark the spot where it happened, right? Usually it's a stone that says, "The king fell here." I can only wonder what they did for Basil. A series of milestones spanning 25 kilometers? You'll be hiking in the woods, and you see a sign. This is where the emperor's left boot came off. You hike some more, and see. This is where the emperor's left nut came off. The right nut is another 2 towns over. Edmund ruled England for 222 days. The man was built like a brick oven, earning the nickname Ironside. There are a dozen stories about how he died exactly, but this is the most popular one. So one afternoon, our ironclad warlord is peacefully taking a dump, right? Down in the latrine pit, an assassin with a crossbow is already hiding. Legend claims the arrow blasted through his royal ass so hard, it reportedly reached up to his lungs. Turns out he wasn't Ironside after all. He was iron mostly on the top and sides, but vulnerable from the southwest. Get it? Get it? From the day Ironside died, the job of royal guards changed forever. Every morning, before going to the bathroom, the king will have a guard with a 12-foot pike just shoving it down the hole, like he's trying to find a clog. Is it clear, Oswald? I think I hit a rock, sire. Was it a rock or a mercenary? Poke it again. The part I couldn't quite wrap my head around was how a full-grown human could possibly even enter. let alone hide inside a latrine pit. It made no sense. Then I found this. You see those small window-like openings on castle walls? Looks charming, right? Turns out they are toilets. This hole is an expressway out for the royal poop. That means someone could easily climb up the outside wall and just deliver the shot. Morning, Edric. Morning, Barnaby. Nice day for a climb. Little humid near the vents, I imagine. It's a living, Barnaby. Well, don't let me keep you. Give my best to the king. This is a lamprey, an abomination that can only result from a vampire having wild sex with a water demon without protection. Why are we talking about them? Because while no sane human would voluntarily bring one of these nightmares within 10 inches of their face, Henry I absolutely loved going on these tubes for hours on end with great zest. So much so, he died from overeating those disgusting eels. I can only imagine how the royal chef explained this during the interrogation. Alright, Pierre, talk. Why did you poison the king? Poison? He ate 46 of those fanged slime tubes. At 35, I tried to pull the platter away, and he stabbed my hand with a dessert fork. I am the Duke of Normandy. I shall not be denied the sea worm. But why did you serve him that many? Oh, come on. You don't blame the cliff when someone jumps off it. I told him, Sire, your physician, Dr. Galen, specifically said these are bad for your humors. And the king said, and I quote, Galen is a nerd who drinks goat milk. Bring me the bucket of suction snakes. We are here with Dr. Galen, who has completed the autopsy. Doctor, what did you find? We checked for poison. We checked for arsenic. We checked for hemlock. The toxicology report came back and the results were just, oops, all eels. And for the record, Henry was lying. I don't drink goat milk. Meet Charles II of Navarre, better known as Charles the Bad. You don't get a nickname like that unless you are a special kind of jerk, do you? From backstabbing allies to burning people, Charles had done it all, and at the age of 54, he fell sick. We don't know if it's a case of gout or paralysis, but his limbs completely stopped moving. The medieval doctor examines Charles and has a brilliant epiphany. Gentlemen, I've cracked the case. The king is a cold-hearted prick. Do we all agree? Oh, the absolute worst. Coldest guy we know. Exactly. It's science. His blood is so icy it is literally flash frozen his skeleton like a human popsicle. And what do you do with a popsicle you want to eat right now? Put it in your mouth. No, Steve, we're gonna heat him. They wrap him up from head to toe in a linen cloth soaked in brandy. Apparently, brandy was considered a breakthrough medicine that provides vital heat. During the procedure, a servant girl sewing up the cloth notices excess thread hanging from the neck and decides to snip it with scissors, except she can't find one in the vicinity, so she just casually decides to burn the thread off with a candle. The king gets enough vital heat to go from frozen to supernova in 3 seconds. The servant girl runs away and is never seen again. Somewhere in a village 3 towns over, there's a new girl named Not Maria, who gets really nervous whenever someone asks for a birthday candle. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, hit like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what historical mess you want me to make next.